appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, obviously, just first just starting off with homecoming. Talked about this after the game, but just appreciate everybody that came back and makes homecoming happen. As an alumni and a person that's got a lot of pride for this place, just seeing everybody enjoy being back, and so appreciate all the players that came back. Got to see a lot of people and visit with a lot of people. Sometimes you see them once a year, and a lot of guys I hadn't seen in several years. So that was rewarding, just regardless of the game. So, and then I felt like our team came out and played really good football for the majority of the game, really in the first half, just taking control of the game on both sides of the football, and felt like our defense, probably played their best game as far as just 7 3 and outs, third down situationally was really good. Really feel they really kind of, at the feeling after the game is just put our defense in some bad spots, with the two block punts, what have to be addressed. I don't know if there was a team out there that won last Saturday at any level that gives up two block punts and wins the football game. So, like we talk about every week, whether you win or lose, there's going to be things that you got to get corrected and you've got to look at. And so, that's what we've been focused on since Sunday when we came back in here is just, you know, it's November football now. And you want to put yourself in position to have meaningful games in November. This team has done that. And so, regardless of the opponent, it's just coming back in here with a, head down, focused mentality of finding ways to win football games and get better. And our guys know that it starts with a great week of preparation. That the details have to be right to be able to go out there and play well. And I believe we have a good football team. Just trying to soak up every day we get to keep preparing, and so we're excited about this week, turning the page to Murray State, and looking forward to going down there. Obviously, regional rivalry that everybody has a lot of familiar faces. They either go to school there and everything. When you talk about SEMO, Murray, and Southern Illinois, the history of these schools just being so close together. It's a great opportunity for us. It's a great opportunity for our fans to come to an away game. And so, I got a lot of respect for Jody. I got a good friend, Nick Williams, that's on the staff that spent time here. Um, they got a good staff, well coached, right? And so they're doing things the right way. You see a lot of young guys playing now. That they're going to continue to get better. And I think that you've seen that. I think that, we showed our team this week or today, they've had some moments in games that they're playing against really good opponents, and, have thrown for 300 yards on two different teams in our league that have really good defenses. And so for us, I think it's just the preparation piece, and excited to play November football, and we'll prepare for every game like it's the biggest game of the season, which for us it is, right? If you want to keep playing, you have to have that playoff mentality, mindset, and that's what we're doing this week.
All right, let's start with Bucky here with questions.
Bucky, you get to go first, man. This is the first in a few years. Got the camera on, and so now
have I grossed
you better
everybody
have
out
some good
yet? Or
questions. You want to go first for that? Hopefully there's no breaking news here like you like to get in a question, but
the breaking news: the Blue Jays and Dodgers are still playing Game 3. That's the breaking news.
it went for a while.
18 innings in about 6.5 hours.
Did you watch every pitch?
Just about, yes. I think it ended at 1:40 something this morning, our time.
Dedicated.
You know, you can't bail on a game like that.
No, no, I mean, obviously I didn't even know. I keep up. There's some baseball guys on the, once the Cubs got eliminated, I was kind of checked out.
Yeah, those The Padres got knocked. Cubs knocked the Padres out. I hadn't put as much emotionally into the playoffs, but I couldn't turn away from that game last night. Just too good. But anyway, you know, turning back to your guys, as far as Saturday was concerned, you said you wanted to see a team that was playing for each other and all that last week. How exciting was it to see the group out there, playing good complementary football most of the way, and to see the performance the defense put up?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun as a coach when you see that. I've said this consistently for the 8 weeks. Like I've never doubted this group's mentality to go in and play team football. I feel like when we got down against North Dakota, there were some things that needed to be addressed that kind of out of character. Nothing. Been doing this a long time, but just where we just have to have our head down, play great. Just when you have the mentality of you know, you can only control what you can do, right? And it's a humbling sport. So your concentration has to be focused on number one, everybody on this field or everybody on this sideline can trust me, with how I'm going to go about things. Like as far as my effort, if something doesn't go right, they can trust how I'm going to get coached. They can trust how I'm going to listen. And then you just go cut it loose and go play. We talked about that all week. Like, man, we're not going to play a perfect game. Like as many games as I've been in as a player or coach, I haven't ever seen anybody play a perfect game. And so just go play, cut it loose, play with confidence as far as just trusting in your preparation. I think our guys did that from the get-go.
How rewarding was it? Because you talked about the defensive line playing with a good effort and about how close the pass rush was to breaking through, and they had 4 sacks and would have had a fifth if the penalty hadn't nullified Chris Presto's sack. How good was it to see those guys be able to get home a few times?
Yeah, I felt like there was a strain, and we probably pressured less in this game than we had the previous couple. So, generating some sacks. We've talked about that. Those are explosives for the defense. When we talk about offenses having explosive plays and the difference, but when you can get tackles for loss and sacks, those are game-changing plays for the defense. And I felt like they were disruptive. And yeah, I feel like that with Presto's. I just thought there was some strain to them, and they executed. Some of those are some line game stunts that got home, and then there was just a strain to get home to the quarterback, and they did a great job, 4 sacks and really disruptive on the day.
And it seemed like you guys were able to pick your spots well when you did bring pressure, like Jeremiah coming in on a safety blitz and getting a sack. Uh, how nice is it to be able to get pressure from not just the front four?
Yeah, I think those things got to be timely, and there's got to be great communication. Like on Jay Black's sack, got motion away, and he's locked into the plan and coming the timing of it all, and bring 5 guys. And Jeremiah is because he's a physical tackler, willing and enabling to come. And when you bring a guy on pressure, you also have to be ready to get picked up, somebody there to pick you up. And then what are you going to do with the physical nature in which you try to run through a guy or having a plan when you do that? Jeremiah's good at that. And so I felt like we talked about him after the game. I mean, played he's been playing at a high level, and it's good to see him get rewarded with a few things on Saturday.
Yeah. I was going to ask too, Jay Jones touchdown against Northern Iowa, kind of fitting in a way he gets a touchdown on Saturday after coming maybe a quarter of a yard shy 3 years ago in the Hail Mary at the end of the UNI game.
Yeah, you had to bring that up, Bucky. That was that was a rough ending right there. I mean, um, Yeah, I'm proud of Jathan. I talked about this. I think it needs to be noted. So much it gets attention gets on, the transfer portal and all of that, and people coming and going. We have guys that have transferred in here, been to a couple schools, and all of that. But Jathan is a 6 year senior, and his 6th year is the first year starting. I would say, I don't know. I'm sure some schools have some guys like that, but I'd say he's one of 10 out there that he's a 6th year senior and he's starting for the first time, and he stayed and he's developed. It was his birthday this last week. Um, and I'm proud of him. I think that what the cool thing about that play too, if you watch it from the coach's tape, or you could probably see it from the TV copy, is like while the ball's in the air, Jeremy Chin's in the end zone, kind of waiting on him with his hands up before he even catches it. And then, when you see James Caesar and Landon Lenore in the end zone, and those guys were his teammates. Like Jathan played with those guys for 2 years. That's how long Jathan's been around here. And those guys celebrating with him in the end zone was a pretty cool moment. I rewound that several times, just kind of, as a coach, that those are things that bring you the most joy, is seeing stuff like that, like Jathan being, in front of the guys that he looked up to, um, that they saw as a young player. And I told him this, and it's true. I mean, I saw Landon Saturday morning. I saw him at the banquet for just a second, but weren't able to talk a ton. I got in there kind of a little bit late, from meetings when Jeremy was going in, but he came by pregame meal, and like the second thing he asked me is like, "How's Jathan?" And it's like you'd be proud of him, and then you just see him celebrating with a touchdown. Thought it was a cool moment.
Thanks, Nick.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bucky. Let's go to Barry now.
Coach, I won't disappoint Bucky by not turning my camera on.
There we go.
10 innings last night. Sorry. Good morning, Coach. I wanted to ask you, in a contrast to last year, you have 4 of your 5 starting offensive linemen who have started every game this year. What has that continuity meant for you guys, as opposed to what happened last year with all the injuries?
Yeah, I think, obviously for your team in any position, but there's really not a position group on the field that has to be that playing together, and the reps together and all that matters probably more than the offensive line. When you think of an offensive line, it's a unit. It's a group that has to be in sync. It's really hard to plug and play without those reps. So I mean, it's huge. And that's a testament to those guys too. I mean, we still got a long way to go here in this season, staying healthy, taking care of their bodies. And so, and then Blaine has played a lot for us that's came in and done a really nice job. So, even with his experience and taking a lot of, if you go back to the spring, I mean, Blaine was starting a lot for us in the spring. Then he got injured in the spring, and then came back summer, and Colion started the season. So it's been nice to have that depth ready to go. And so those guys have played at a really high level for us, as good a job as an offensive line has played here in my time together. And it's really just the communication piece, and even in the run game, I think Noah's playing really well. As far as just, I mean, he's a really good football player. Like he's got a football mind. Um, just identifying, in the run game, where's the point at, who we're going to, get everybody on the same page. And it doesn't mean they're going to be perfect. I mean, one of we were backed up. One of the ones DJ had one of his incompletions. Um, we got to pick that up. There was a miscommunication there with the tackle in the back on who was blocking who. And so, they're not going to be perfect either, but they're doing a really nice job.
You've gotten contributions from multiple backs with Chapman and Robinson and Lester, and I wanted to ask you if you could just kind of describe their running styles and why they're such a good fit, each of them.
Yeah, I think they're all a little bit different. You know, LaShawn's been out for a couple of weeks after Indiana State, came back dressed, got a few carries last week, got back into practice. But, you know, Chandler is, physical yards after contact, probably, just a more physical back, does a good job catching the ball out of the backfield as well. And then Ed is kind of, he's got a little bit of everything in him. He's slippery. He's pretty explosive. Obviously, had the big run. He's had, multiple explosive runs, going back to even Indiana State. I mean, anytime you can stop your feet, break tackles, and then get going again and then go, 70 yards, it shows your explosiveness from, having to start and stop. Ed's got a little bit more of that in him than all of them. But Ed runs with, will run between the tackles and run with some physicality about himself. I mean, Ed finishes his runs. And then Ed's, really a weapon out of the backfield as well, catching the ball and doing some of those things. So, and then I think Liam Walsh, is in that as well. We utilize him in a lot of different ways, and different games have kind of showed up with him. Whatever package he needs. I mean, Lim is kind of a glue guy for that room for us. Um, does a lot of things that go unnoticed, and so it's a good rotation. Obviously, when you've got three or four guys that are taking reps, it's got to be unselfish, and it has to be you know getting in a rhythm. So I thought that Saturday, obviously Ed and Chandler got the bulk of that, and then DJ running the football.
After Illinois State played at Murray a few weeks back, Brocksback said it's becoming one of his least favorite places to play. Murray's pretty stubborn, and they also are top 20 in the country in attendance. What makes that a difficult place to go and play?
Well, the attendance thing, this will probably be their biggest crowd. We've played down there on homecoming before, and they got a pretty good deal on homecoming. The tents be set up, and I mean I mean, I'd rather that than go on the road and play in front of 1,800 people in a big stadium. Like our guys want to play November football that what you see on TV and excitement and go on the road and so I'm excited about that. And so I agree it's a little bit different of a stadium, obviously with only one side. And but there'll be a bunch of people behind us that today or this weekend on homecoming. And then yeah, I think that they're good. They're doing a good job. I mean, I know in that Illinois State game, you just keep watching the tape, and it's like they're scoring the football. They threw for 320 something yards, I think 400 and something yards of total offense. Um, had to pick up some third downs, got a good plan. That's what I said. I mean, they're well coached. I mean, Jody has been around the best of the best as far as coaching. So as far as his plan, when you're rebuilding something, it's not going to be easy. But as far as the schematics, the plan, I mean, the two guys, I mean, I don't know Jody as well as Nick Williams, but Nick was here with us for a long time, then went to the NFL and was with Jody in the NFL. Jody was with Nick's dad at Alabama for a long time. I mean, so as far as the structure of the program goes, I mean, Nick was brought up with his dad coaching with Nick Saban for 15 years. So as far as like how they're practicing, their setup is going to be a well thought out, disciplined schemes, and they're doing a good job playing a lot of young guys that I know, and just talking with Jody will pay off for them in the future, right? As far as like some of those young guys, but it's week 9 now too. They're no longer, game 1, game 2 freshmen playing defense. Like they've played a tough schedule. They've been challenged, and I think you see that on tape of like each week them growing and getting better, trusting each other. And so That's what I mean. Our mindset is, I mean, there's no other option for us to just be like totally locked in to go play 60 minutes this Saturday.
Last thing I had for you, coach, is you talked about what homecoming meant to you. What do you hope it means to current players when they see guys coming back?
Well, that they remember it and then they want to come back. You want it to, like I said, like it's not going to change. Like we've got to go play the football game, like in the middle of the second quarter, not thinking about it's homecoming but the pride for the school, like it meaning something to you, the brotherhood of all the past players. Like I said that in my opening meeting um, this year in training camp. Like we stand on the backs of a lot of guys that came in here and played before us, and just how things work out. If however the progression was to get to 2025, things were different. There was a different coach. If there was different players that decided to come, we all probably wouldn't be in the same room. So we owe it to those guys for being here. Um, and just, I mean, I'm looking at a picture right now because one of the guys got it out of my office. It's a framed picture of that 2016 recruiting class at a basketball game. And like I said, if it wasn't for those guys, like some of those guys got to feel what the playoffs were, but like I'm looking at DJ Davis and Jeremy Chin. Those guys didn't get to play in the playoffs, but the foundation that they put, like we're not going to the playoffs unless they stay and find a way in 2019 to win 5 games in a row. And then we start to go to the playoffs. Like, so you got to remember all those guys that laid the foundation before you, and hopefully those guys, the current guys, having a pride in that. And one day they will be back, hoping that the guys that sit in their seat now feel that type of value about them that came before them. And so when you have a program, that's probably what gave me the most pride on Saturday, was seeing like just the program as a whole, guys coming back, wanting to be back, wanting to be wanting to be. I mean, the locker room after the game, I'm going just trying to go to the media, and it's just stopping and talking to a lot of different generations of players, guys that I coach from 16, 18, 21, guys that just graduated last year, you know, guys that were grad transfers last year, only here 1 year, coming back to our homecoming. Like I want them to feel that when they leave here.